Yeah, man. I don't know how that knock off. It come like it a knock them head, you know. We just me think just a zoom and shut down. See? Me just think the thing just shut down. Yeah, man, all right. So me just going back to what me I talk about right now, see? Me going back to what me I talk about, right? Because me there just see me thing just shut down. So me have to just knock it over back same way. No, me just remove that and just knock it over back. Can me just sit just knock off. Because sometimes when you beat them, you know, they know why you beat them to it, you know. You see me, I say, yeah, man. So you beat them with truth and thing, you know, and them know why you beat them to it. So let me tell you this now. I'm going to now go right back. This is Andrew Holness in a 2015 New Year's speech. But I sure you say them know before you form government, you come. That's why I'm not in the trick. Hey, let me tell you this. Don't make politicians run and go around, you know. See? Yeah, man, I know I'm not getting a car for a while, you know. So you see me, I have to start it back same time, see? You make politicians go around, you know. See, Andrew Holness as an opposition leader, I tell you everything where you fi hear and all the thing for fix. And all the people them are willing to tell about the health, and tell about everything what fi do. Now if you know everything what fi do and then when them do so boom and they fly up the gate and you do so boom in the driver's seat, you know fi set it, man. You fi cut the corruption, man. See? You fi cut the corruption. Money they so board of them have I think they push your board left, right, and center. Them a spend money, them a do all kind of things right now. See? But most of all, I could just hold him accountable for him word. So I start play it back. I have to hold him accountable for him own word as a PM. Right? So I hold him accountable for him own word, you know? You understand? So I could start back again. I start him again. Hold him accountable for him own word. See? Here.
And we give thanks that we have been spared to see 2015 as we, the people of Jamaica, make our personal resolutions to live healthier lifestyles, to be more prudent with our resources, and to improve ourselves and grow our businesses. So too must the government of the country make resolutions and decisive actions on critical areas of national development.
Okay.
This year, the government must focus on better management of our public health system. We cannot allow the mismanagement of the chikungunya epidemic to characterize the standard of our public health response to future epidemic threats. Ebola is still a global concern.
So the future epidemic threat in 2015, now we have one epidemic threat right now, and we see the mismanagement, don't? At the COVID. Okay. See? So you know as an opposition, come and tell the people and talk to them, but yes still. You know, I hold him account. Just go and listen to him. That's why we have to hold him to account of these things. We not play with him and I like him, no. We don't know cover up here, so. Listen.
We must continue to be vigilant and prepared. The state of health service delivery in our hospitals and clinics is a grave cause for concern.
Okay.
Long waiting times and incidents of patients dying, lack of medicines, and stressed out staff are now common features of the general condition of public health care in Jamaica.
Yes. Remember, you know, and it triple, I know, are more than that. It even gets worse. Saying, who adjust it? This is just 1 year before, you know, you win the election and turn government, farm the government, right? And you know all these things, but you're still not put nothing in a place up to now, 5 years. After this, no? Go and listen.
Because of our economic challenges, the health of Jamaicans must be a priority.
Health.
Government must place resources in the health sector to support necessary services. A progressive society cannot hold the view that persons who are unable to pay for health care at the time they need it should be denied access. This crisis in our public health sector now requires national attention and creative solutions.
Okay.
We believe it is now time to establish a national health insurance scheme where all Jamaicans can make an affordable contribution to a pool of funds dedicated to the health services. We're happy to see the continued improvements in examination results. This is no doubt the result of significant policy work done
when they are opposition, you know.
to transform
Opposition.
the system. Our focus on literacy and the implementation of the competence-based transition policy, along with several other significant initiatives, have brought meaningful change to the sector. However, there are areas of concerns that must be addressed. One of the most important policies that enhanced universal access to education was the free tuition policy. This ensured that children from poor households could attend school without worry or fear of discrimination, of being denied access or services within the school because of their economic situation. Many parents are now being confronted with tough decisions about school fees or auxiliary fees and whether or not to send their children to school. While results are improving because of the work done during my administration, we fear that attendance at school will be affected by the enforcement of fees during increasingly difficult economic times. This ultimately will have a negative effect on our children's performance despite their boundless potential. We therefore strongly encourage the government to reinstate the tuition-free policy and to increase the allocation per student to schools in the 2015-2016 budget. I'm sure that we are all happy to see the price of oil fall.
Listen.
However, we must always bear in mind that the fall in oil prices are temporary and not necessarily driven by pure market forces. The government, therefore, must not let this temporary reprieve dull the urgency of the need for real energy reform in Jamaica. A significant number of our electricity generating plants are old and inefficient. These plants must be taken out of service and replaced with more modern and efficient generating capacity. This year, the government must take serious action towards attracting serious investments in the electricity generation sector. In the interim, Jamaican consumers must benefit from the significant drop in oil prices. It is this.
You notice now in the government, him not tell you when the oil price drop. You see Petrojam still a push up some things and push out to your roof. You can't pay a light bill. You can't pay no bill at all. But him not pay no mind. You see it? Alright, just here. Just go and listen.
For the government to call on the retailers of oil products to offer lower prices to the public when the government itself ultimately controls the price at which the market is supplied.
You hear who control it? You hear who control it? Him tell you about the matter about the government itself. Them control it, of course. You hear what I'm saying? That's true.
It is disingenuous for the government to call on the retailers of oil products to offer lower prices to the public when the government itself ultimately controls the price at which the market is supplied. This
True him attack. You understand? So him come tell you something. And him control it. The government control it. Because when you say oil for maybe $70 a barrel. Remember, in the Gulf War, we go up to like 140 or up there, so, you know. We up there, so, you know. And it come down back to like $20 a barrel, you know. See? So when you see $70 a barrel, there is no way I should up here about the taxes and everything with them put on some of that little things, see? But go and listen to him. The government control it. So him know the government, farm the government now. You know, free up the country and move the red tape? No. Tighten it up more. Just go and listen.
It is disingenuous for the government to call on the retailers of oil products to offer lower prices to the public when the government itself ultimately controls the price at which the market is supplied.
Want to hear him?
This year, the government must review the pricing mechanism of Petrojam.
You hear him just said a while? Of Petrojam. Because Petrojam, the pricing mechanism, why not review it? When we know again, we'll lose 500 million barrel of oil, we value over $5 billion and nothing at all to do to it. Remember, you know, just at the court, I am the court against corruption and everything, you know, just look how him govern. Eh? When him opposition, him know where to go on, you know. But look now, 5 years. What more people are going to wait? Eh? Go and listen.
People have kept faith and borne the heavy burden of the government's austerity measures.
Yeah, here.
Since this administration has taken office, fees and taxes have increased, wages have been frozen, and social...
Wages frozen, and fee and taxes increase. You not going to listen? Eh? All right.
Services have declined. The government...
Social service decline, and decline more too, you know. See? So the man know what I say. Decline more now and then belt. More. But not now do for ease it up, don't it? Go on, listen.
Have kept faith and borne the heavy burden of the government's austerity measures.
Mm-hmm.
Since this administration has taken office, fees and taxes have increased, wages have been frozen, and social services have declined. The government continues to rely on passing austerity tests as a sign of its progress. But austerity is not a long-term solution. Constantly increasing taxes, cutting consumer spending power, and cutting investment in public infrastructure will not grow the economy.
Yeah.
The government also continues to promote the idea that growth will come from large foreign investments in logistics and infrastructure.
Yeah, what Anja do right now? Logistic and infrastructure, I'm doing, you know. And you hear what I'm saying? You hear where growth come from. Now, you see, in logistics, you know, I went to a certain place and hub and them thing, they like, you might tell about the logistic and about the hub. I went out and lease out the wharf and this and I tell about the highway. But the infrastructure were inside. Like what we use, certain infrastructure now fix. I just to please certain people and tourism and certain other little people, you know. That's why I listen him. Listen him.
Is not a long-term solution. Constantly increasing taxes, cutting consumer spending power, and cutting investment in public infrastructure will not grow the economy. The government also continues to promote the idea that growth will come from large foreign investments in logistics and infrastructure. The lesson we have learned is that it is not necessarily so.
Yeah.
While it is important to focus on the macro level, growth really comes from focusing on the micro level.
All right. So we have to tell him, when you can't say boom, 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 make the man a line in pocket. We have to tell him what to do and all kind of things. When you say the country run, you hear him talk the things them we have to talk because if it come from the micro level, you look on the little small man them for go the country, you know. We not lock them down and do all kind of things and now the big boys them a control it. Don't. Micro level, you know, macro level, you know, way down there, you know. See him? Just listen him. Listen him.
Logistics and infrastructure. The lesson we have learned is that it is not necessarily so. While it is important to focus on the macro level, growth really comes from focusing on the micro level.
Yeah, micro level, yeah.
It's not even about the financial resources to make the investment. Oftentimes, it's about the government moving faster on decisions, bringing investors together with ideas, and creating the right regulatory framework in which entrepreneurs can take risks. This year, the government must focus on small businesses and local entrepreneurs and the things they need to be able to increase production and investment.
Local, yeah. You just go and listen to him, you know, and look what I do right now. Just go and listen to him.
Keeping the incentives of the junior stock exchange, reducing transaction taxes, and improving the time it takes to get approvals.
Yeah.
While the people have been keeping faith with the government's program of belt tightening, the government has not been tightening its own belt or keeping faith with the people. Last year, we saw several instances of waste and misuse of public funds.
We wine. You hear what I say? Yeah, listen. So you said me when I country, me know this and that, and me thought all of this. There was no way. You have to misuse of public fund. You never real greed. And then people, you never Bobby man to few with the car where we not get and all kind of things. We don't have the petrol jam. We don't have the whole of them things that when you put together, the amount of money gone, misuse of fund. Thief. Because they know it all. But you put him there and then we lose even more. Listen him.
The government's program of belt tightening. The government has not been tightening its own belt or keeping faith with the people. Last year, we saw several instances of waste and misuse of public funds, from $1 million phone bills to the inappropriate.
All right, you hear him say $1 million phone bill. So all the phone bill there, lick him with Ardisha for $8 million for 1 month. All the same phone bill go and go knock him back. You understand? Oh. So if him say $1 million phone bill, so the same phone bill just drop back in a film packet, boom. You see me I talk about? Everything what the man talk like him a predict how him a run the country and him a mash it up and him no business about nobody. Just listen.
With the people. Last year, several instances of waste and misuse of public funds, from $1 million phone bills to the inappropriate use of your NHT funds to purchase
NHT funds. Our NHT funds. We just spend 2 billion for being build a tower. 37 million for one of the things them when they even have them that with a big old fan in it. Eh? And that a bill for poor people. But listen, why your NHT team say how them use your NHT funds? Listen.
We saw several instances of waste and misuse of public funds,
Mm-hmm.
from $1 million phone bills
Mm-hmm.
to the inappropriate use of your NHT funds to
Okay.
purchase a failing private business.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most hurtful ironies of the saga is that while it was coming to light that the NHT had bought the Outer Many tourist attraction for $180 million and was continuing to spend millions of dollars on its maintenance, the Prime Minister was also informing the public that the NHT would be cutting assistance to low-income earners by approximately $80 million. We as citizens may not always connect the dots, but bad governance has real effects on our welfare.
Yeah. When they hear? Yeah, man. That's why, honest. That's why I say me have to show you up that way because me listen to you. Remember the people them just remind them of what you say, yeah? All right, one.
Dollars, and was continuing to spend millions of dollars on its maintenance. The Prime Minister was also informing the public that the NHT would be cutting assistance to low-income earners by approximately $80 million. We as citizens may not always connect the dots, but bad governance has real effects on our welfare. The fact is that fewer people who would normally have benefited from their NHT contributions will no longer benefit because the NHT board decided to spend less on what it is supposed to do.
You not here. All right, we running again. Same board, you know. Yeah. Listen.
Citizens may not always connect the dots, but bad governance has real effects on our welfare. The fact is that fewer people who would normally have benefited from their NHT contributions will no longer benefit because the NHT board decided to spend less on what it is supposed to do, build houses, and more on what it is not supposed to do, buy tourist attractions. Each and every Jamaican has a duty to hold their government to account for the proper running of the country's affairs.
We ran again, sir. We ran again and make them hear. Every Jamaican on the hear this. Hear this? So we have to hold him to account. Him say it. Hear it there again.
Normally have benefited from their NHT contributions will no longer benefit because the NHT board decided to spend less on what it is supposed to do, build houses, and more on what it is not supposed to do, buy tourist attractions. Each and every Jamaican
Yes, sir.
has a duty to hold their government to account for the proper running of the country's affairs.
Okay.
In democracy, power flows from the people.
Yes.
If people decide not to participate, then governments can act in ways that are not in the people's interest without fear of consequence.
That's why me have to point you out. Thank you. That's why I run with troll. Because you know, as an opposition, you tell me, I'd so the people them for hold the government accountable. So we are act. So even if you turn the government now, form the government, you have to hold you accountable too. And him know better than this, You understand? That's why we have to run a troll, Because the man say if you hold them accountable, and if you don't hold them accountable, then they might act in a ways where business. You can't sit down by the wayside and make him do what he want to do if you pint them out. You understand? Him own speech catch him, 2015. Hear this.
Each and every Jamaican has a duty to hold their government to account for the proper running of the country's affairs. In a democracy, power flows from the people. And if the people decide not to participate, then governments can act in ways that are not in the people's interest.
Him right. So power flows from the people. And if you go on like you can ignore him to everything where him a do, and you not say nothing, then him act in a film own the career. Him tell you. And this him a do, you know. Can I take who they know like them I eat that now, them not gonna say nothing to me. And go with me in our opposition, they may say something to the next government, but not me. Yo, them man are really stupid. Eh? Hold him to account. You know what I'm saying?
Account for the proper running of the country's affairs. In a democracy, power flows from the people, and if the people decide not to participate, then governments can act in ways that are not in the people's interest without fear of consequence.
Yeah.
I encourage all Jamaicans to let your voice be heard.
Thank you. So I make my one be heard louder. You understand? So this is a message to all troll too. So I could just go back there and make them listen. So when them watch it, them hear what him say himself, or Andrew himself, I tell you what to do, you know. Andrew himself. Okay? And him right. So that's why me no mind, you know, them that push me go nowhere at all, me I hold him accountable. You understand? Because you have some people that come out to them voice, and there's some of them now come talk and say, boop, bap, bap, you know. You allow him do what him want, do and never up the country, and that's it. See? Every corruption when him talk about, you saw that him administration run through and more. More. Hear this.
Supposed to do, build houses, and more on what it is not supposed to do by tourist attractions. Each and every Jamaican has a duty to hold their government to account for the proper running of the country's affairs. In a democracy, power flows from the people, and if the people decide not to participate, then governments can act in ways that are not in the people's interest without fear of consequence. I encourage all Jamaicans to let your voice be heard, whether you are articulate or inarticulate. You have the power to change how the country is run.
Him right. Thank you, Holness. So may I show them, so when them hear me a pint short, you know, you look at them go sit on one side. Me not have no time for them. That man I know the right thing what to do, but you still, you put in some people when you look everything and misappropriate use of funds and all kind of things. People articulate or not, him say you don't make no voice be heard. Him no business. Give a whole government accountable. You understand? Say it again.
In a democracy, power flows from the people, and if the people decide not to participate, then governments can act in ways that are not in the people's interest without fear of consequence. I encourage all Jamaicans to let your voice be heard, whether you are articulate or inarticulate. You have the power to change how the country is run.
True.
Significant changes are on the horizon for the Caribbean region. We welcome signs of the normalization of relations between the US and Cuba. As I have consistently said, Jamaica should re-examine its foreign policy with a view to focusing on the Northern Caribbean. Cuba, Haiti, and the Dominican Republic all have markets that are at least 3 times the size of our population.
Him knows the market at least 3 times the size of the population. But you know, you not focus on the 3 countries them where you just talk about. You focus on China. You see me I talk about? Eh? Instead of a neighbor. Just listen to him idea and him plan where him did have. And tell me if him put anything in a play. You see the whole of them are running and grab money and all kind of things and mash up a country more. We are hold them accountable.
It is true that while they are geographically close to us, all the infrastructure for trade and investment may not presently exist. A part of our growth strategy must be how we position ourselves to participate in these markets. There is no reason why our locally manufactured products and our services cannot be sold in these markets. We must now, this year, seek to put in place arrangements to support trade and exchange, such as communications, transport, but more importantly, the bilateral negotiations to create cooperation agreements. There are many issues.
So why as you when you go Israel, you pass flyover 80, yeah, if you go up to the flyover Cuba, or flyover 8 and the Dominican Republic and go straight to Israel. I talk about biological agreement, biological this and that and agreement and one bag of foolishness. Instead of you deal with the neighbors, like what you just say. You see me I say? No man will hold him to account, man. Him say it, man. Everybody hold him to account, man. So I hold him to account. By him own word, you hold him to account every move him make. You have to shine a spotlight on him. No joke.
That require decisions. we can make this year the year when we decide the kind of Jamaica we want. The government has brought to Parliament a bill to remove the Privy Council as our final court of appeal. We maintain the view that any such move must have the approval of the people in a referendum. We take note that our other partners, including Trinidad, where the Caribbean Court of Justice is presently headquartered, have seen the wisdom in having the people endorse their final court in a referendum. Last year, human rights issues figured significantly in the news.
Human rights issues. So him just as a referendum for move that, but my come with needs. We never push a referendum to the people them same way. You see me I talk about? So him come with some things now and him push everything where him believe in. How him just say out time out. And then I serve who him I serve. I serve themself and them pocket. Yeah? That man you not good for Jamaica none at all. None. Yeah.
The context of human rights is a fight between the state and its citizens.
Hear this.
And sometimes it appears that there is a reluctance on the part of the state to secure the rights of its citizens.
Come back again, Andrew. The right of, remember of those 5 man just sue you, sue the government, for them human rights and violation and they lock them up all long and them thing there, Eh? Yeah, man, hear this.
Last year, human rights issues figured significantly in the news. Too often, the context of human rights is a fight between the state and its citizens. And sometimes it appears that there is a reluctance on the part of the state to secure the rights of its citizens. The West Kingston inquiry offers an opportunity for the state to take a proactive approach in setting the tone by which we deal with the rights of citizens, particularly how the state protects the right to life and how persons are compensated when they have been hurt by the state.
So how no one compensate the youth them and appeal some court ruling and all kind of things. And look how them you send out people now mash up all some people involved in no crime and nothing at all. Mash them up, woman, man and all kind of things. The other day with the COVID thing, people just catch people and just draw them and throw them in a thing, so. Eh? Look on this.
Here, let us think carefully about the type of Jamaica we want to see. I believe we can all agree that we want to see a healthy, educated, energy efficient, economically growing Jamaica, where people have a sense that they can get justice and their rights will be protected.
Justice and them right to be protected. But I'm not easy, Hear this.
Let us think carefully about the type of Jamaica we want to see. I believe we can all agree that we want to see a healthy, educated, energy efficient, economically growing Jamaica, where people have a sense that they can get justice and their rights will be protected. In 2015, let us resolve to act to hold our government to account
Yes.
for the Jamaica we want to see.
Yeah. No, but in 2021, we have to hold on to account, same, yes, sir. I even more so, sir. No, sir, go. So now you talk, and now people are willing to account along up your nose, like a Pinocchio. Well, we have to hold it to account, man. You're under microscope. What you talk about, man? Man, the microscope straight, man. You hear what I'm saying? I'm more than 3 card, man, this man.
And their rights will be protected. In 2015, let us resolve to act to hold our government to account for the Jamaica we want to see. Let me wish for you a healthy, happy, and prosperous.
All right, so I have one that's 2015. This is before the election, You see him have everything and him have tell you what government do to people, and you have to hold government to account to everything. Let me give you one 2014. So him not change the stance. Why him not change him stance now? That's why him cannot be trusted. You understand? You tell me what we want to hear this, and then we must hold it to account to follow you. 5 years. Now half a decade already. And then if we just slow you, make it just do I'm just mash up or you mash up. It can't work. Watch this.
I join you in welcoming the new year 2014.
This
Great expectation.
so this one, me just go one back door, 2014, New Year's. Right? Just hear him, listen to him.
As we herald in the new year and pause to reflect on the year past, let us give God thanks. the past year, we have had proud moments in sports, entertainment, and culture. We must continue to build on these areas of strength and capitalize on the international brand value of Jamaica as a land of talent.
And yes, still they mash up the music. They see it? Entertainment and sport, because when them want to vote, them fling something in your head and you run up and down like you idiot, like headless chicken. Now man, I'm gonna trick me. Not a bit. Yeah.
Last year, we continued to face the disturbing situation of increases in major crimes, some of which were particularly gruesome and targeted pregnant women, children, and the elderly. There is a feeling of hopelessness, helplessness, and frustration.
Yeah, because in 2014, hopeless, helplessness, and frustration, and gruesome crime. Oh, it not go on now. It a go on in so much that a state of emergency, the man can't even control it. Him did have the remedy for control crime, and all him not come with him crime plan. I know. I could go on hear
High
him.
crime rate. Our business leaders have expressed serious concerns as this seemingly out of control monster threatens investor confidence in Jamaica and consequently investments, employment, and ultimately the improvement in the standard of living of our people. As one priority for the new year, therefore, we must urge the government to address this major impediment which has many Jamaicans cowering in fear.
So we have to urge the government for the major impediment. So crime plan our SOE. SOE can't make crime plan. You might this the same police them. So the soldier them take it up a next level. And it over the police them. Eh?
Crime must be treated as an epidemic on our social and economic systems. Clearly, there is a failure of leadership, a marked absence of meaningful strategic approaches.
Strategic, meaningful approaches. So you tell me now SOE has strategic, meaningful approaches? SOE? Cancel my rights. But you tell me about you have some little gang who no could push out and then target them and get them out. Eh? And work with the citizens of the country. Yeah, yeah. Me rewind and hear what I say.
Failure of leadership, a marked absence of meaningful strategic approaches.
What? And failure of leadership too. Well, listen.
Demonstrable will to mobilize adequate resources for our national security. In my message last year, I urged that we make a positive resolution to address at least 4 other areas of concern.
4.
These areas remain just as relevant and urgent as they were last year. First, we must increase our
Man, Carl, let me just stop that. Yeah, man. Yeah. Thing that you call it, no, you can't not that one day yet. Hear me up on my live, yeah? Yeah, let me just call it this, so. Yeah, could see just call me this, so bam, 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 bam. Andrew, me up on my live. Me call her, yeah, so, yeah, man. You up on my live, yeah? Soon call you back. Alright? Yeah, man. Yeah, man, watch this.
Way from achieving this. Second, the high cost of energy continues to be a major concern. Government must fast-track the build-out of the new power facilities. Corruption continues to destabilize our society.
What?
Jamaica is ranked among the bottom half of countries on the World Corruption Index.
Right now, on the bottom half, the right at the last. It's not good. Eh? It's not good and no corruption, and you turn it up. You turn it up with the man them where you have, like Alibaba and them are the 40 thief. Then turn up. When you turn it up, see everything where you talk here, so. Instead of a man say, okay, me I gotta fix this. Fix what? You get a road instead of you fix it, you open it up and turn it in a precipice. You get a little thing with a little baby hole night, and you just open it up bigger. You understand? Everything, you just bore up everything. You open it even wider.
And undoubtedly will remain there until the government stops paying lip service to the anti-corruption agenda.
Lip service. You hear this? You hear this? Let me rewind again. Government to anti-corruption agenda. You hear this?
Second, the high cost of energy continues to be a major concern. government must fast-track the build-out of the new power facilities.
Everything the man talk, it just fling right back on him, you know. Eh? See the high cost now cut there? Light bill gone up every minute. Eh?
Corruption continues to destabilize our society. Jamaica is ranked.
Yeah, destabilize the corruption. Eh? We just say, after the man, him not pay back the money, him never gonna wear it. I'll be a corruption straight. See? Board just dissolve again. Which one of them? Some aluminum board. Bobby Mantique just dissolve again, and I be a board and be a sitting and be a money I spend and be a sitting and missing. Misappropriate use of funds all over the place. Now them have a next board when them just dissolve, you know. You see me I say? Hear this again.
Among the bottom half of countries on the World Corruption Index, and undoubtedly will remain there until the government stops paying lip service to the anti-corruption agenda. Let us pledge to correct this for the new year. We must pay meaningful attention to education reform. I have always maintained that education transformation is the key to empowering Jamaicans and improving the human resource input.
So if the key, why that take 170 billion spend on security thing for the one and education at 2 billion allocated to education too? Yeah? For the budgetary year. I think at 88 billion, from 58 billion to 88 billion, the police, and then the soldier from 12 billion to 26.8 billion. But in the education system at 2 billion. Eh? You see the man, I back where I'm going now? Yeah, man. I back where I'm going, man.
Economic, social, and political development. Let us make this a reality. Let us make 2014 a year of action. The opposition will continue to protect the interests and advance the hopes and aspirations of the Jamaican people.
Yeah. The open after, it was a good opposition. That's why you can't trust them, you know. Them full of lip service, you know. You know the thing them have to do, but you sit down the 5 years now. And instead now you use SOE and a lockdown people. See? And when you look the man them in there, everything happy, everything where him say you saw, you just hold it to him thing and more. Him balloon up the thing like 100 times. Nobody never see this in history. Nobody. You know, him not good. No, at the worst, this, you know. Some people feel for talk, but me talk straight. Him at the worst of the worst. You understand? Yeah, man.
May God bless all Jamaicans. Let us strive to make our country a better place to live, work, raise our families, and do business. Do have a happy, blessed, and productive 20.
Good devil, man. You see? And that forget. A man sit down and talk and people say yes. And sit down and talk and people say yes. Yeah, man, you know the thing where you talk about him young because Bruce said that. When Bruce tell me lie. Let me tell you this. That's why I'm not bother for the politics. When Bruce sanctioned man up felt and Philip business, him same do it as a party leader. Now you're the Prime Minister. And anything what to mix up with criminality and Prime Minister not supposed to. I not think island water no fetch like that. Right? You have island you can't throw water in your engine to mash it up, right? You know the same part where you throw the island, not true. Them no, it no match, don't. See? So as a Prime Minister, we swear. But let me tell you up front, you know, I call them, you know. Bruce come and say, hey, me used to involve in that things because I remember the politician they mix up and man with gun and everything. Me used to involve, but me done it. Nobody not charge him, nobody not inquire, them not do no investigation, nothing, but you're trying a Jamaican Prime Minister. It body. A man just come talk and then the private sector come up. Private sector can't pick who them want to pick. Up to the people them, and that's why them keep the people them dumb and stupid, you know. Yeah, man. If you just have some place where we call ghetto and some other little place where we can go and give 2 grand and 5 grand, we divide the money so it not value nothing. So you get 5 grand, me know it's not even 100 US me give you. A matter of fact, 5 grand now like 30, less than $33. Me give 5 grand, 33 US, me give you. And you can jump up and rail for me and vote for me and carry everybody go vote for me because me just give 5 grand. Fully belly one time and they would just go and line up a basket with good. Election time I go to pack them in the bus and send them. Look for the man, him could have come and come trick me, man. Him? Them put all name on him, board God. For you want to be because you know you're a devil. You see me I say? You're a devil. See? And all the people, them hostage right now. You talk about the education and information and all kind of things. And yesterday, all the people, them hostage. And them not see it. You want to them not see it. And him himself tell you, that's why I want to troll. Because him himself tell us, listen to me, you have all government accountable. And as a people, if you just sit down and say, make government do what they want to do. And you know business of which government neither, you know. Because him now look back on him one speech and I say, well, I'm there. I make some speech and I could have take it back because no, but my family government no, but I hold me accountable. Of course, I hold me accountable. Enough people don't look on them speech. I see it. I make all this speech. See? And grab some people. Now, I see something in the paper. To the paper. Where a man talk about politics, right? Man talk about color. Look at the man talk about. You believe this? I say I can't find it and show you. You're not going to believe this. Look what the man here talk about. This was Sunday, this was yesterday. See? Look what the man here talk about yesterday. See? Look what the paper carry. JLP man says my going to fear for the average Jamaican. See, in color say you what I say now? President of the People National Party, Mark Golding, will have a tough time win the electorate by virtue of his complexion being much fairer than that of the average Jamaican. Now, a man need to open Jamal and put back the man in night, yeah? The man, him not just thinking him thought, but the man, him so stupid, eh? If the man they are Jamaican. Siaga was not Jamaican. But him get a time to be a prime minister, which that mean null and void. Because American can't run as a prime minister. I mean, nobody said nothing about that. You have American dual citizenship, you have to do it, denounce it for a run. And in our cabinet, much as you got to turn a prime minister, that should have null and void. Whoever say it, me say it. Saying? Foolishness. You could be a Jamaican and talk about you can be a president in the United States. Eh? You must be sick. Nobody can say, oh, him give up this and give up that. That's a foolishness. You understand? So, by Mark Collar, I used to say by Mark Collar, this guy here, this is the view Mill Alan Baker, Vice Chairman of the Jamaica Labour Party, executive in the St. Catherine Northwest constituency. I feel view that. Mark Golding is not for the same type of color that we have. Not that I have a problem, but Jamaican is different. Jamaica like a certain color. And if you don't have this color, you're in a problem. He claimed on Sunday during his constituency conference held that you with a nice school. To blast his position, Barker allowed it to late former JLP leader, Prime Minister Edward Siaga, who he said could attest to suffering politically because he was not a dark shade. And that makes Siaga protest. Siaga borrow money and say him don't even remember saying what $31 million. Siaga line in pocket. So I don't know if that makes Siaga suffer. See? Siaga want to rule with an iron grip. So the people them keep him away. You understand? So I don't know why I'm that saying that. Eh? I know Siaga's kid make him suffer. I want to be a prime minister. Number one, American is supposed to be a prime minister, Jamaican, you know. And that and this is not because of Siaga, but I mean, this is which party. Listen, that's why them did have the thing where that do and the one of them who have the dual citizenship, American citizenship. You can't run. But much as you're born in America, to be a prime minister of Jamaica, you can think of that. Saying about that's why citizenship. Foolishness. You could have been a Jamaica and no other country and turn a president in the United States. You can go in them Senate and in them thing, but you cannot ban. You have to ban a Jamaica. You see me I say? Yeah, man. Then you have to ban a Jamaica. You have to ban in a US to turn a president. You have to ban a Jamaica to be a prime minister. Or, you know, what them call it? What them call our thing there? Commonwealth. See? But not a US ban should ever be a prime minister. That should have null and void. Say null. You see me I say? But you see them, can me see them have a big sting, can kick up a big sting, but they never put in that, they never include that. You still have some man who just get it by people. Oh, you have dual citizenship with you. No, you have to go do but you can't run. You're not supposed to even put your foot in the house. But man, you're behind the door. Turn prime minister. See? But him a talk about, let me tell you this, them for open back Jamal and fling the man in the night. Say your color. So in a film thing, say, and me think him that can come tell me something about Governor Glue now. But me can say, okay, so I'm this and this and them thing there. Film thing where him having at the color. So man, I look at the mark goal in color. Or somebody else and then make and just stay and finish with them life. Eh? So in a year head now, you have an next party about the place, you know, but in a year head, somebody can keep Anjo because mark goal in color. Not him finger, him a touch some money and him a rob or do something. Yeah, because a man color. So you keep Anjo. The man, you open Jamal, you alone for about around 10 class yourself. You alone, we just line up 10 teacher for you. See? Look on this man. Eh? Boy, may I tell you, me can't believe that Jamaica so stupid. You have Jamaicans so still so stupid. Eh? Don't chat foolishness. I chat foolishness, say the color Jamaica want black color. Not darker color, not the eye color. Say the turn prime minister, also Michael Mandy. Michael Mandy never black. See? A white skin Jamaican. See? Yeah. A man where I talk about gold in a one now. In Jamaica too. See, in Jamaican. I tell about color. Color. One people can move the country forward. So you are bringing that color and say, okay, color this, color on that. Look here. Make a bring in color then. Look at that color here. Look here. Look here with color. So people can follow what you say. I say, go back at Jamal. Look at that color here. Him dark like charcoal, no. How much money lose from the education ministry? You see how this? Creed. How much money lose from education ministry? Eh? So, you might tell about color. Like you think Jamaican people are that. I talk about Jamaican people are that. They might watch color. But look on a color here. And look how much money we lose. Look on some other color. I see what color. With same color we were supposed to look out for. But you're still in a St. Thomas, we still land 1,000 acre land gone. Eh? Man can't show no paper own buy it. Him pay couldn't show the game that money, that land. I not at all. I not hear nothing else. You just shut up. The man them line them pocket. You have to be careful. See? The man have nothing to chat in the shut in the mouth. Them put us go ahead. That's why we tired of them in a car. Them a mash up the country. You know what? Them you see, if you have representative, and get serious. Them man have to go live on the key and run them election for the key, man, and work out them off, man. But them man not fit to run Jamaica, man. You understand when Jamaica affairs? You mad? You ever look at third world country and there is no way. You run government like a first world government in a third world country. There is no way. That it not beneficial none at all. That you do security. Number one, you paint up God no up at the house there, Jamaica house, like it at the White House, put up the same picture like we have the White House put up. Then drop the same that. Then them appear people for us bring in the Prime Minister and do one spokesperson. Then them have the security, like security details out enough. When you look upon vehicle, upon top of vehicle. Third world country. One of the vehicles them value more than $20 million. And when them leave, them get the vehicle for buying them things. We don't have no food, we don't have nothing, you know. See? You understand? But we have them look at people that go around and just go in at people and people run with it all the time. Yeah, man. So, see? So these are the things we are talking about. Them are show me, I'm going to a Jamaican. Yeah, show me a Jamaican. But the Jamaican, we are show me, I say, him skin. Yellow and next man, but wasn't a Jamaican to be a prime minister. The Jamaican, they are show say him skin. So him skin, the people, them are refusing. You put in a man here, him skin dark, like corn dark. The same education, farmer education minister. But you look at the man, I think the man have an honest thing about him, and him barely can talk and lock him teeth. That time the man has studied some different thing and people don't know. When you do the education ministry, them just a milk it like how. One bag of money, woman come out, come say, listen, him no call me name, them can go open bank account, put millions in it, them go give me 30,000. And that alone that make you push a case for a long time, but him if you investigate nothing else, them open their account and them draw the money and it there. See? Do pan the man. Eh? Greed, black like a fire coal. But what him do? If him alone, when you say a man go touch education, money we don't have already. Him been in a prison for a long time. Nobody know business about that. Them give him the long date and long thing and push it right round that and all can make a foolishness. But they're not a foolishness. And himself so for all him accountable. The whole government, any government too, himself for all them accountable. I can't even talk it like I give them, give them a passage to go through and destroy the whole place. You talk about education should be a priority. But no, not on the film watch. Some was a good opposition. But everything where supposed to apply to him when him in a government, him not see it so. Him just break every case and everything and just run through the gate with it. You mad? We have to hold them accountable. See? The man did not talk about, yeah man, no man, no sure, but a reality, a man to tell about you're Jamaican. And he might come tell people overthinking and say, the man there, who are the opposition now, say, devaluation. Say, oh, him skin alone, me know, say, no, nobody now. So, nobody, people are watch your skin. So, in a year, that's what I mean, no, him need around 10 Jamal for himself, 10 teacher line up. Say that every man, in the morning, go straight back and Jamal for open like 12 hours, see him. No school no open so long, 12. If the man shop, 16 hours, him alone. I mean, I talk about him to go to Jamal school. I mean, you have to teach him, you know. But just you have to teach him like a kindergarten. But you have to teach him from kindergarten, Jamal, you know. From kindergarten, go straight to university. Jamal University, that's kind of Jamal University. So you just line up the teacher them for him. So you must start from kindergarten, 10 class him. Then you just change the name to Jamal you know. You just change the name to him. Grade 1, 10 class. It will take him around 25 years, I don't know if I'm still a big, because I'm a big man. You understand? But you have to take him that long, because no man no can, no star. Him need Jamal. Him need Jamal. I mean, I talk about Jamal University too, you know. So them done and you make him graduate and them come out and you make film thing big too, you know. Doctorate of Jamal. And we make sure call Guinness World Book of Record, because you know, them like have a man the first there, and you show him. So Guinness World, him have Guinness World Book of Record for in a so much travel class from kindergarten to grade 1 go straight up. See? Go 6th form Jamal. And then he go university Jamal. He go college Jamal, university Jamal, and graduate with Jamal degree. They can't give another degree. Because film is tough, you know. So you have to just line up every day, you have 10 teacher for him, and you have to give him 16 hours a day, not even work long so. So even if you work 40, a matter of fact, 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. 7 days a week. If you just teach him and see if he can get something in his head. Eh? No man can't dumb so, man. No, sir. No man can't dumb so. See, no man I need for him name. Sir, I never call him name, sir, because, sir, me just, me refer you. Go, yeah, man, and all him name too. Boy, your mother will give a name, and that's why you stay so better. Yeah? Miloland. Miloland. Cheetah, just look at the man name. Him need to go Jamal. See my Miloland, my Jamal. Miloland. Eh? You see it? See name there now? See there? Miloland Barker. So Miloland Jamal. Miloland Jamal. Yeah, man. See? So we have to revive Jamal for Miloland. Because I never see nobody so stupid. No star. See? And when we don't do that for you, Well, make sure work a Guinness World Book of Record, that means you have record the man who go Jamal the most, him alone. For the next 25 years of life. See? And you graduate with Jamal diploma. You understand? Yeah, man, you graduate with Jamal diploma, you need a Jamal diploma. Because nobody can so stupid. See? Yeah, man. Yeah, man, for a serious no, man. Eh? Then that's Miller it was with Jamal, man. You see me, I say? And then he might for start from kindergarten. Watch him play. I wonder if he can manage it. Eh? Eh? You know, for the man talk about some issues and think the man talk tissues. Like I think, look at the man. You think he can manage the next 25 years of Jamal? Are you learning what I give me? Do you think so? Eh? Middleland. Yeah, man, what you talk about, man? Yeah, man, 25 years. Put upon them ears, them make us 7 can graduate and the first one and what for us send on junior too, you know. Because you know around the country good enough, but make us send Middleland first. See? But think the man will come and come tell me something will make sense. The man attack to people, the man make no sense. I'm a talk back. At the time when I'm attack, sir. At the time when I'm attack, sir. Let me tell you what happened to him. Golden complexion among factor could negatively affect his entire team. So golden in complexion affect him entire team. See? So me really my talk, so you know. I beat him just get beaten too, you know. Yeah, man, them just beat him. Them beat him like much time, you know, because he might go up to go turn, but I see what him do. Vice chairman of the Jamaica Labour Party, executive in St. Catherine. He a chairman, vice chairman. In an executive. That's how Mr. the country runs, some man. Eh? That's how the country runs, some man. Him, yeah, executive, and then they look at position and they money way. Eh? Yeah, man. No, man, Barker. Jane, no, see there? JLP candidate. So, in that recently seized being the JLP candidate in the Youth division following a repeated defeat in the poll. So, they might beat him in a poll. He might want to turn a candidate. I want to see you turn a candidate to backside. Eh? Can people look at? Man, go sit down and use them. The toe cut and go cut a can, yeah, man. See? Nobody with the foolishness. See that? Where am dead? See that? See that? Up here, so. See that? Sobaka recently seized being the JLP candidate in the Youth division following repeated defeat at the polls. And you know who win? Is a pastor win. So he might get beaten at the poll and he might point out something else. For him just watch the man what he gone to somebody else different party completely. You understand? Eh? Yeah, man, Middleland gone to somebody differently. I talk about something different. And for him talk about theme poll where him just get beaten. Eh? Up here beaten getting a theme poll. See? He go upon something else and I say, oh, this and that, like people are idiot. People want better. Who want better than the Jamaican people and Jamaican citizens right across the board. You see me I say? Yeah, man. No, man, it's not easy, man. Me say, back up. No, you watch this. Let me tell you this. Right now, yeah, man, what want we do? No, man, we have to do some Jamal thing, you know. Him alone, nobody else must go there, him alone. We just want some teacher. Feel 10 class a day you have to go. 10 class a day. I remember, you know, we have to build back your car keep and see and them things, like you have to start from down the side. You know. You need back a soda. Because you have to start from kindergarten before you go in a grade 1. That's stupid. You understand? I say, Andrew, you say them for all you accountable. Hold the government accountable. And when you sit back, when you hear him for yourself down, when you sit back and not say nothing, government just feel say them have everything for themselves and do what they want to do. People want to hold them accountable because they're your brother. When I have a country for run, this is not private affairs, private business. You know when a country so. You don't run a country like that. See? So me is a man that drop. Because you have here when review have come in and I forgot maybe I forgot drop on Google Gaga and I don't know why I get 18 million. You have $6 million man, you have $18 million man. See? I don't know why I get them money there. In a third world country where we don't have it. And the whole of Jamaica that get up and say, no, fire, put back a next man. The man will come through the rank of police, come up to it. So the man they have been pension over there, so forget, plus yasso, plus advisor pension. When them done with what you see, me no know. Me no know Jamaica survive. You understand? Because we have too much people for pay each year, it don't make no sense. You see me I say? Yeah man. Yeah man. You see me I say? It don't make no sense. No, 7 days a week. Twice. Baka. Boy, my sister said twice on Sunday, you know, you have to go. You have to go, Jamal, you know. Twice on Sundays, you know. 7 days a week and twice on Sundays. I want them bad, you know. Twice on Sundays, yes, sir. Twice on Sundays. So it's a 24 hour on Sunday then, man. If we get 24 hours on Sunday, that means it'll end up on the next 16 hours, you know. Eh? Yeah, man, Sunday, that means him not go home till when I went, you know. I will do just change teacher and did that work. Because back I don't have nothing name, nothing at all up here, so him being gone. Hmm? And him a vice chair of the executive at the party, in the same caption up there, sir. Vice chair. You must have talk a chair, like chair where you sit down, you know, vice chair. You must have talk a chair and you want a vice grip. For, you know, hold it back because some screw drop out of it. But it could be vice chair or something, man. And he's so dumb. Him dumb. See? Him dumb. That's dumb. You understand? But him, when him leave Jamal, him forget a diploma. Jamal diploma. You start him, give him around 25 years. Starting from kindergarten, Jamal 1, Jamal 2, Jamal 3. 10 teacher line up 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. And father say twice on Sundays. Then 16 hours a day. So that a double up, you know. Even when you work from Monday to Friday, you know, 8 hours a day. 40 hours a day a week. Work, you know. You might get 80, you might get more than 80 hours, can you remember, you know. Just 5 days alone that give him 80 hours. See? But I'm more than that because them 2 extra days there. See? Same have, and the 2 extra days, one of them are double up. So the 16 one for 20 at 24, like a father say. Yeah man. Yeah man. The man is not easy, man. See? The man is not easy. As we say, the Prime Minister said for all them accountable. All them accountable for all the misappropriate use of funds and the way our government run the thing and the way them step up and trample upon people, human rights and everything. We hold them accountable. That's why we run the throat. And that's why we put out, that's why you see what we call the Prime Minister, what we call him out. But everything we say for all them accountable. That we do. Him tell we, anything we say that we do. Saying? So him can't just go around that. You can't have too much people, too much corrupted people. You can't know. Adequate supply of foreign exchange to meet demand, the OJ says. That one name Biles. This is from Saturday. Look here. See man there watching a Prime Minister. Look here. Look here. Me never know when I want to they move, natty body and leave. So natty body and leave. So them have a next one now, you know. See? So people are saying Lonesome, but him name Lati. Well, I not pronounce that, we just slow it. See? But upon the money now, he might tell you how much money them foreign exchange, them a sell per day. Them trade. You know, we are trade some goods, we sell some goods and things. Them sit down, they get the US at Bank of Jamaica and trade it. Eh? A earth economy, you know. So it will show you how much money authorized dealers and gamblers have it approximately 36 million, which was higher than the 31 million recorded. You see it corresponding here. So this was Saturday. Yeah? Business and individual in Jamaica who require foreign exchange. We have able
to access it. We're able to access it in note. Biles, oh, may I read through that? Let me just read through that. Biles was speaking during a BOJ Monetary Policy Committee digitally quarterly media briefing on Friday. Oh, this was Friday. Someone look at the exchange rate, the people. Look at the exchange rate on Friday. Look here. November this, look at. Look at $1. You see $1? I want 60 that, you know. Yo, so they might play with it at 150 at 150 at. Where should she get up and go 200? Eh? This is not good for our country. This can't good for our country. You understand? This is not good for our country at all. Look there. Hmm? And they might tell us it's all right, you know. They might tell us it's all right. Let me see what I'm saying as well. They might tell us the 6.1% depreciation, yeah, it brought similar to the corresponding period last year. We might tell about broad similar to corresponding period, but dollar they go like 60 to 1, 60 to 1. The man have nothing to say now. And here we must say about the rate now. See what I'm saying about the rate? It fairly value. The man that make you know say money fairly value. The man that should get fired. Eh? Them kind of rate to make people suffer. We shouldn't even have the money to trade it. You understand? The economy should have strong so money stabilize. Him say it fairly valued. Oh, that to fairly valued in no terms and farm. That man they can't tell me that I'm a follow him. Them man now I get like over 200 million Jamaican, 30 million Jamaican, like 30 million, right? 30 million, over 30 million Jamaican for million no for million. See? So somewhere with other things when so somewhere I get around $200,000 for him pay. Every guy might get that some other things maybe 31, 32 million or something, somewhere around there. See? So you get that for your pay a year time. I told you, I tell them get more money than Nancy Pelosi right now. She get 194. You know just go up so. You can go just go Google it when you done and go look. Him to doing nothing. For sit down and devalue of money. Devalue of money and sell US. Sit down like a in different from in a coronation market now. Eh? Sit down like them big old igla and sell a devalue of money and mash up a country. And I tell you so we alright when we not export nothing really. It cannot be alright. It can't be alright. You see me I say? 160 to 1. You see me I say? It don't make no sense. That man is coming like a big old Igla woman. A big old Igla man. Yeah. See my great man, big old Igla man. See him when they sit down like you have one of them Igla sell mango and them. Him no different. He must sell the US. But it's a mash way up. And I tell you said fairly value. Fairly value. Value what? Eh? Man have the money, you come and sell it, and you know, so we have to trade by the US. We have to buy everything, we have to import it, and then when the money run like that, we need more Jamaican to buy the US, to buy even the medication, the medicine for sick people. And buy the vehicle, and buy the parts, them, and buy the oil, we have to run the country. So if you buy the one of them, you import the one of these things, or it have a benefit for us. Minimum wage now move. Around $46, less than 46 now, okay, for 160, less than 46 for minimum wage per week. 46 US. And you have to go bust that in a 5. See? So if you push the 45 US, yeah? Yeah man, if you push the 45 US, 5 days, you count to buy and a 10 US that you get for the day. You have to go count it 9 US. 9, 5, 45, $9. So you know if you get $9 and you work 8 hours a day. Remember for $8 you work $1. See? So you see that you're going to bust it up fast, you know, $1 for an hour. $1. but you have an extra dollar. And you put a $10, you leave 20, you leave $10, you leave 20 cents. Where's that 20 cents out of that? Because you take the 80 cents and put on each of them one man over there. So $10, and you have 20 cents. And you have bust the 20 cents in an 8. So if you bust it in an 8, you see it? $12, $1.12, you have 4 cents left. And you have bust that in an 8. So really, $12 cent and a half. $12.5 per hour you get. When you work that money, we are talking about, you work 45 US. That's a work, minimum wage. You get $12.5. $1.12.5. $1 per hour. $1.12.5. Which part of the US I know where you get them things there? Jamaica underpaid bad. So when you work, you have some people that get $45 an hour, $20 an hour and them things there. When a man work 1 hour in the US, 1 hour, just work 1 day. Say, all right, put it say in my work. So put it say in my work. Because you have someone, you have different work where you have to see. But put a minimum wage and say you work $15 then, $120 that. See? For the day. Much time the 45 going at that. 92 time. Because you get 120 and it leaves 25, 2.5 time. A matter of fact. The 25, you have to get 25 and 25 are 50. 2.5 time your pay. 2.5 time for your pay. Where they working in Jamaica. 1 day. 2.5 time your pay. You still have a little change because you still have it. You see me I say? It's not right. Not right. See? Can I work? You see me, you want to be the 25, you have to take off the 250 off of the 25. So you get 2.5 times. So you still have a $2.50 over. Pan that same way. You see me I say? So you work 1 day, that's a little bit of money, and then, this is the way that work. And then them a tell you one bag of thing, but them a pay them like first world. Them a get first world pay. Get more than some people. The commissioner I get 120,000. You just be a little bit below 120 now, but 120 just be a little bit below it. See? So you get 120,000 for the year. $18 million. 120,000 for the year. That don't make no sense to me. For doing what? Sit down and Google Gaga. Alright, we're going to draw him. Little later, I'm draw him up. Because in reviewing, so I have to hold them accountable. You have someone that on them beat and foot and not do police work. Them can't even buy a house, them can't see them way out. Them can't see them way. I'm on the sit down and, me have the most this and that. Friend business around this. That when the Prime Minister was opposition, that's not film here man thing. He must show you him sorry for the people them and him want to do better for the people them. But no more if you call him king. Be careful of the people them why you call them your excellency and bro God and king and prophet. Be careful of those people. They are devils. You understand? Yeah man, keep it real man. So I hold them accountable, yeah? Alright, me there. Lonesome up, keep them real. Be a fire where I burn. Up.